So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'd first like to say if this is your first time here, I am a fanatic that likes to talk about the Elder Scrolls. I've been talking about the Daedric Princes. I've yet to talk about my character, but I want to first welcome you to my channel. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Feel free to subscribe, like, share. It all benefits us in some way. Today we'll be talking about Sheogorath, one of my favorite Daedric princes, and we'll be talking about his artifacts and some of his beginnings. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. All our social medias are Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We have a Facebook business page. Just follow DaMouseOfInk and let's get started. First, I'm going to take you guys through the Daedric Artifacts, and then we'll move on to the basis of this Daedric prince. Elder Scrolls fandom implies that Sheogorath has several artifacts. So the Wabbajack, the Everest Camp, Fort of Horpulation, Spear of Bitter Mercy, Staff of Sheogorath, the Gambolo Putty, Folium Discontinuum, and Ruin's Edge. Above we have Gambo Old Putty is a unique right glove in the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. When used, it casts a powerful enchantment that temporarily modifies the wearer's primary attributes, increasing half while lowering the remainder. This glove is required to renew a pact, preventing Sheogorath from basically tormenting the dumber. He's talked about artifacts is the Everest Camp. The Everest Camp is a type of lesser Daedra that appears during the quest Whom Gods Annoy in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion 4. They are a weaker variation of the scamp that follow the staff of the Everest Camp and its bearer. It is unknown if this staff is in any way related to the Mad God's Wabbajack, the other staff belonging to him. The staff cannot be given to Martin Septim for the quest Blood of Daedra, despite being a Daedric artifact. During the end of the order, the words hold and release will not be heard when the staff is used. Trying to interact with the character while it's under the effects of the staff will result in the game informing the hero that the character is unconscious. Only characters hostile towards the hero or another character can be affected by the staff. If someone other than the hero uses the staff, the effect will affect characters that are Dagon. Its bugs are unlike many other items and introduced in the Shivering Isles DLC. It can be duplicated using the scroll duplication exploit. It appears in the Shivering Isles Elder Scrolls 4 expansion. This isn't one of Sheogorath's artifacts, but I felt that it would benefit to mention it because it is one of probably the best weapons in the entire game's history. Dawnfang Dustfang is a unique longsword with two distinct variants. 6 a.m. it's Dawnfang, 6 p.m. it's Dustfang. So it was created by the Tasiki, and you come upon it in the Shivering Isles from Gromok Grobarak when he is killed during, I believe it's a trap mission. Basically, the artifact keeps a kill count, and as I said before, it changes night and day, and it thirsts for blood. This dark, very, very awesome weapon. Deadly bow. Favorite weapon of Syl, the Duchess of Dementia. Each arrow shot has the chance to cast a spell like Paralyze, Silence, Demoralize, or Frenzy. Weapon is located in the Stony Creek Cave far east of Windhelm. And I think that's talking about Skyrim because I think you get it as a reward in Oblivion 4. Let's talk about Umbra. Umbra is technically not Sheogorath's Daedric artifact, but Umbra came along when Clavicus Vile sought to make an artifact, and he pardoned, a witch, thought the witch was normal, not. She turned out to be Sheogorath, and created Umbra. The witch was killed for her evil creation. Umbra in the Elder Scrolls 4 can actually be picked up without even doing the full quest, and you can hold on to Umbra, or you can return her and you can get a mask of Clavicus Vile. The Umbra sword can only be obtained by killing the character Umbra in the ruined Vindisal. This can be done at any point in the game with or without starting the quest. Clavicus Vile's shrine has been completed. The sword will remain as a quest item in 0 weight. The shrine quest requires the hero to obtain the sword and return it to Clavicus Vile, in which case the hero will receive the Clavicus Vile's mask as a reward, which boosts personality by 20 points. Otherwise, the sword can be kept in the quest. Fork of Horpulation. This artifact is actually a lot known about it, so I'm not going to get too touchy with it. But basically, it is what it says. It gives the wielder the weirdness senses of Sheogorath, and he's able to make them do things with it, such as pluck out their own eyeballs. This is a bit of a longer explanation, so give me just a second. The Fork of Horpulation is a cursed artifact created by the Daedric prince Sheogorath, who refers to it as affectionately as Forky. In appearance and function, it is a mundane iron fork. However, it is imbued with an attachment which excites and synergizes magic around it and can produce dramatic results when held by a certain people, resulting in horripilation. The fork smells lightly of roast beef. This Connium is a Daedric artifact created by Sheogorath. It is a tome of knowledge filled with insights compiled from the rambling madman. The pages bear near incomprehensible scrolls that move to avoid your gaze when read. The power obtained from reading these insights is the equivalent of absorbing at least 6 sky shards. Sheogorath has been known to offer the tome to mortals as part of a deal. Archmage Shalador, ever hungry for knowledge, traded the island of Avea for the tome in the first era. He went on to regret the deal, and in the second era, in year 582, he returned to Tamriel to win back Avea from Sheogorath. Velas, the Mage's Guild's master of Incubula, who aided Shalador in his attempt, was solely driven mad by Sheogorath. When the time came to reclaim the island, the mad god gave an adept of the guild the choice to either restore Velas' sanity or take the Folium and allow Velas to remain the Shivering Isles for eternity. It is unknown which option was taken. One is an artifact created by Daedric Prince of Madness, Sheogorath. It is intended to be used by him for the fun of causing the victim to go mad by altering, deleting, causing him to relive painful memories. This can be done in such a way that the victim will question their own reality. Its physical appearance is describable as a large metallic rod adorned with a double-sided figure of a horned madman with blue flames pouring out of his head. Sheogorath's regalia is the clothing worn by Sheogorath himself. It is found on top of his throne after the conclusion of expansion main quest. It is a suit if worn by males and dress when worn by females. The Crescent is a cursed sword created by Sheogorath that causes its wielder to be filled with reckless abandon, compelling the kill to everyone in a fit of rage when they hold it. The 16 Accords of Madness describe it as being a seductive, wide arc of honed steel that is intricately decorated, such as being adorned with jewels, having a beautifully decorated handle, and even having practically in its elaborate pommel, which is designed to be balanced, its considerably hefty weight. It is most known for being used against Malakath to trick him in murdering his own son. Jack is a Daedric artifact, of course, created by the Daedric Prince Sheogorath. It takes the appearance of a Daedric staff that is usually engraved with angry, gaping faces at the top, as it befits the Prince of Madness. His artifact is unpredictable in its effects. The staff has the power to transform its target into a completely random creature. This can help the wielder or hurt the wielder, turning a fearsome opponent into a docile animal. Similarly, it can be detrimental, transforming a relatively weak enemy into a powerful monster. The staff can produce other effects such as damaging, healing, turning to stone, or instantly killing the target. The staff's victims that are turned into animals and are cooked after the fact become the meat known as a wabberjerky. The meat has created debates on whether eating it would be considered cannibalism. Sheogorath finds only a few worthy of Wabberjack's absurdly sweet power. There you have it, guys, some of our Daedric Princess artifacts. If I missed any, please feel free to comment them, and I definitely will go into detail on them. But next, we're going to get into our Daedric Prince, starting with his realm. I would like to also put up some pictures in just a second to give you the Shivering Isles and what it looks like. The Shivering Isles, also called the Madhouse of the Asylums, is the Daedric realm of Sheogorath, Prince of Madness. The realm consists of main landmass surrounded by a group of smaller islands, the area of which is divided in half. The northern half of these lands is called Mania. The southern half is called Dementia. This divide represents Sheogorath's split personality, the two shades of madness. The Isles are inhabited by mortals as well as Daedra, but all of them basically have been driven insane. If you aren't familiar with the 4th game's DLC installment of the Shimmering Isles, can find the store by Breville in the middle of the Nibian Bay. God demanded a mortal champion to face his foes. Throughout the course of the expansion, the hero Kvatch learns that Sheogorath is in fact Jiggalad, the Daedric Prince of Order, and this all goes into play when we talk about that Ager that he basically was turned into. It was Jiggalad turned into Sheogorath. Champion defeats Jiggalad. Jiggalad tells the hero that at the end of every era, basically, he's going to come back and try to restore order. It means that in ancient times, he was one of the more powerful Daedra lords. The influence of his spirit was so great that the Daedric princes grew jealous and feared him. They cursed him to live as Sheogorath, the incarnation of the thing he hated most. The period when he comes back is known as the Grey March. more specific, at the end of every era, Jigglad is allowed to take his true form once again and bring order to his realm. One event known as the Great March. After the Great March, however, he is transformed back into Sheogorath, who spreads madness upon the realm once more. The champion is named in the new Sheogorath. Sheogorath is the Daedric Prince of Madness, Four Corners of House of Troubles, the Skooma Cat, Lord of the Never-There Raver, Comfort of Men, and Sovereign of Shivering Isles. His motives are said to be unknowable. He is sometimes referred to as the Mad Star, the Mad Lord, the Mad One, the Mad God, and Uncle Sheo. Among other things, his realm, best known as the Shivering Isles, has also been called the Mad House. It is believed that those who go there lose their sanity forever, of course. Only the Mad God himself may decide who has the privilege to enter. Sheogorath is above all unpredictable. He's the type of deity that does things on a whim to quench his boredom, such as indulging in sadistic pleasure and treating everyone as a plaything. A great number of myths and stories, legends notably reflect this. Sheogorath's favorite pastime is torture, and Sheogorath himself claims to have spent his first 3,000 to 4,000 years of existence tormenting butterflies. Because of this, they are associated with him, so whenever you see them, you know you're seeing him. 16 Accords of Madness are stories of Sheogorath's encounters and inevitable triumphs over the Daedric princes, such as besting Hirsine, Vermina, Malakath. During the fall of Verthin, tells of the tale of the counting Shivering Isles who disrespected Sheogorath and who Sheogorath rewarded with an overabundance of madness in his family, leading to their demise. While his fellow Daedric prince feared Jiglad's raw power, they must also fear Sheogorath's cunning. New Sheogorath is the divided capital of the Shimmering Isles and is said to have been founded at his whim. Sheogorath is one of the many prominent Daedric princes in Khajiit culture. To him, he is Sheogorath, a crooked-tailed cat who shares his madness with the sugar tooth through skooma, a hallucinatory narcotic that is known to leave its victims in a constant altering state of delusion, euphoria, and lethargy. Indeed, he is known as Skooma Cat, for nothing is madder than a cat on skooma. The skooma cat takes the form of an Alafik and acts more like a common house cat than a Khajiit. For instance, he is easily distracted by yarn. Sheogorath is believed to have accompanied the Chimer to the Exodus to Morrowind. However, when the Tribunal Temple took power in Morrowind, Sheogorath, as well as Malin, Dagon, Malakath, and Lolagbal, became known as one of the Four Corners House of Troubles. It is written that when he rebelled against the Tribunal, the worship of Sheogorath became punishable by death. Sheogorath rebelled by tricking the moon, Bardu, inspiring it to hurl itself at the city of Vivec. It justified his actions by claiming that Vivec was built in mockery of the heavens. Vivec is then said to have frozen Bardu in the descent with one gesture. The moon then swore itself to the Tribunal service forever. Vivec apparently made an agreement with Sheogorath to protect his people from madness, an agreement that Dunmer must occasionally renew by performing the pilgrimages to Four Corners. Dunmer believed Sheogorath tests them for psychological weaknesses. Legends say Daedra lords such as Sheogorath built the great shrines themselves because their people couldn't build fine enough shrines for them. Sheogorath's followers don the Jester Festival in his name. It's an annual holiday that falls on the 28th of the Rain's Hand. The origins of the Jester Festival are speculated, with some believing that it originated with Sheogorath once turning the whole world mad. Daedric cultists visit the shrine of Sheogorath during the Festival of the Mad. This tradition may be found local in Valenwood. The Blessing of Sheogorath. A prayer among Sheogorath's worshippers assert that without Sheogorath, all thought would be linear and all feeling would be fleeting. They praise him because it's Sheogorath who tricks us when we are foolish, punishes us when we are wrong, tortures us when we are unmindful, and loves us in our imperfection. Zealots and heretics can be known to stage uprisings in his name. During the First Era, Shalador established the island of Avea as a retreat and sanctuary for all mages. However, Shalador traded it to Sheogorath for the Folium Discontium, the Tome of Knowledge. Between the 3rd and 5th of the Rain's Hand, Sheogorath, along with 7 other powerful Daedric princes, entered the contract known as the Cold Harbor Compact with the tribunal god Circus So. Little is known about the compact, but it's theorized that it prevents the prince from directly manifesting on Nirn. It is also speculated that in order to secure the agreement of Princess Circus either made a credible threat to them or presented a significant exchange. During the Second Era, the Mages Guild was expelled from Cyrodiil and became fractured due to the Alliance War, so this increased the need for Shalator to get Ivea back from Sheogorath. As such, Sheogorath did give it back, but it was swarming with golden saints and dark seducers, which needed to be cleared out. With that done, the adept was forced to fight Haskell to finally clear the island of Sheogorath's influence. In the same year, Sheogorath turned his gaze to South Point and took advantage of a disgruntled mayor who claimed to have lost his birthright. The mayor demanded power to gain respect he needed for his position, but Sheogorath instead cursed his tongue with madness. Subsequently, after Sheogorath donned a guise of Skumakat and ravaged the two moons on Tinmar Temple and Inequia. Sometime before the Second Era, year 582, the witch Nerna Wearer created the sword Umbra, which was a request of Clavicus Vile. During the Third Era leading up to the Warp in the West, he actually played a key role because he was present during the Agent of the Blade's retrieval of the Mantella. He often visited the Blind God's realm of Mantelcrux within Aetherius, so by doing that, he played a key role. In the Third Era, year 427, Sheogorath tasked Nervinian with getting the Fork of Harpalation from Big Head. In the year 433, Sheogorath was aided by a champion of Cyrodiil in tormenting the Khajiit settlement of Borderwatch Cyrodiil. And towards the end of the era, he opened the door in the Nibian Bay for the hero to come through and in the Grey March. Although Sheogorath is known to outplay his opponents, one actually bested him. That was Tom Wren, but he bested Tom Wren by tricking him into making him think he was carrying his son when his son was dead the whole time. And then he didn't grant him an audience. And then when he came back to the Shivering Isles, he just he wandered aimlessly with unanswered questions and became slowly mad. Sheogorath disguised himself in the year 180 of the Fourth Era as a Breton by the name of Theodore Gorlash and encouraged the warrior to enter a portal outside the town of Rivercrest. The portal led to the Abyss, a mysterious realm of oblivion consisting of a never-ending series of rooms and corridors, both real and unreal at the same time, which together form an endless dungeon. In the year of 201, the former Bosmer high priest of Mania, Dervinin, who had at the time seemed to be a simple beggar, convinced the last Dragonborn to assist him in finding his master. So that's when he pops up in the game Skyrim, and you have to get him out of Pelagius Septim III's mind. So yeah, that's that. And as you can see, the memory wand was also used in that quest between Talion and Sheogorath. He used it to show him his basically original memories. Just really messed up. I think it's important to note that he used his artifacts in a more sinister way than the other Daedric princes do. It is one of the reasons that he's the most powerful prince. His inflictions in the mind. His realm is a reflection of his mind and his state of being. Those who enter his lands are pretty much traversing madness. The most iconic Daedric servants of the Mad God are the Oriole and Maskins. Both are revival Daedra and have pools in their own areas of dementia and mania. Both serve the people of New Sheoth in dementia and mania. Hungers are typically associated with Bouivia, but they also can be associated with Sheogorath because they are a perfect representation of his darker side. In the Shivering Isles, there are several creatures: Eletri, Spriggan, Gnarls, Bellawogs, and Beastfolk, with a complex life cycle. It's important to note that they have their own personalities and they defend their own areas, but they do work under the Mad God, so if it is allotted, they will respect the Mad God's wishes, whatever those might be.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
I like to go into the weapons that I would like to see in the Shivering Isles if they ever do make a new DLC. Dawnfang and Dustfang, the Sword of Juggalad, Shadowrend, Never Shatter, Ruin's Edge, Dagger of Friendship, and Fork of Harpalation. The Dawn and Duskfangs are particularly my favorite because it was unique. It was a long sword, kind of, and it was it changed. It changed during the day and night, and between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And it belonged to Grobarok, and it's said to have been one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Extremely useful for like even if you're lower level. Even more deadly at, its peak level at 30. So I really would like to see that back, just to see a sword change through day and night time, because the weather does change, so why not? It keeps track of the enemies killed, displaying the text of how many lives it's extinguished, with an X beside it being the number. Much like Mayron's Razor, kind of. It will say the sword's bloodthirst is satisfied. The missions overall in ESO are pretty immersive, and they're immersive like the mission where you get the Dawn and Dustfang, so I already expect, it to be a lavish experience where we're indulging in green mode and Feldu. So very excited. I hope that they create a Shivering Isles DLC for the Elder Scrolls Online and give a buff to Sheogorath, because I believe that his original design is more powerful than his design currently. And I know this may seem critical, but I promise you, I'm in love with this game, and I'll accept it even if he doesn't change back to the original Sheogorath look. But I do want to see the bones hollowed out, and I would love to see, the three places being the Fringe, Mania, and Dementia, the Gates of Madness. I would love to build a new Gatekeeper. I think that was one of the most immersive experiences that made the Shivering Isles different, to put together parts of a beast. Gatekeeper would be pretty cool. And I would love to face hordes of, if it has to be the Order, then I'm fine with that, because they were the antagonists along with Juggalad. I would love to see Juggalad. But those would be rare circumstances and probably an alteration of the lore. But I'd love to explore whatever they have in store for us. I want to speak for everyone when I say this, but I know that some people are just going to think back to the graphics and time of the release of Shivering Isles DLC. But I thought the flora was very, very beautiful. I thought the butterflies going into, I think it made a Guinness World Record for the most butterflies in a video game scene opening or sequence. I found it to be an unbelievable and almost unchartable place, even though it was small, but it was big, if that makes any sense. I would like to experience the landscape being more detailed. I'm not really sure if that's a thing that just comes with new gen, and maybe new gen is just gonna look fabulous. But I believe if they put their heart and soul into whatever the next DLC is and continue to do that, that the games are going to be solidified forever in history amongst, most importantly, probably not even amongst, but at the top of MMO/RPG games. So I really do believe in the Elder Scrolls. I think, though, to keep people captivated, instead of releasing something for maybe another Daedra or something for, Daedric Lord specifically, I think they should release the Shivering Isles for Sheogorath. I think part of the fun of the Shivering Isles in the past was how we played games with the minds of the NPCs, even though, this is a game, it is a program, and at the end of it, the two choices, the game creators inevitably know the ending, but for those that play the game through separate characters to figure out twice or anything like that to find and figure out the ending, I want to say it's very special that they implemented that before, so I want to see that in the Shivering Isles DLC. If they could come through with it, it would be another game changer, because that is something that is kind of unexplored in the Elder Scrolls. I don't get that specific feeling when I'm doing the playthrough, regardless of what mission it might be or quest. Excuse me.
The game changer for me is the vibe of a game. And The Elder Scrolls is a series. The games all have a vibe to them. So for me, The Elder Scrolls Online's vibe is actually amazing in itself. If it was just you and just you exploring in The Elder Scrolls, I honestly don't think it would be a boring game. I think people would still pay to play it. It's fascinating. It's never ending. And it alone, the RPG part of it is massive and the content is almost endless. So if they continue on the path with releasing, if you look at their pattern since the first release and you look at the series as a whole, you'll see that everything is very interesting, but the Shivering Isles in itself can be picked apart 1,000 times over simply because of the concept that it's situated around. The concept of madness, the darkness. It's almost darker than Mehrunes Dagon. It's nearly as dark as Vermina, and Sheogorath has literally in his realm hollowed out massive land, tree forms, mushrooms. The idea is endless. And again, when you look at the artifacts and the way that he uses them, it would give players a chance to see the world in a different point of view. There had to be those points in the old games. I don't want to say old because I still feel like they're young and so full of life, and they're going to produce more life. If generations down the line actually get to still play Oblivion and Morrowind and Arena and Skyrim, of course they're going to still be playing Skyrim. I don't think anyone's going to put it down, especially with them making the smart move of putting the game on the Switch. And as well, if Elder Scrolls made it to the Switch, your things that they could do. Because listen, if I could be in the Shivering Isles anywhere, okay, whether it be the train or wherever I may be, traveling or here in New York would be lit. Like, that would be everything. I'm a mom especially, so for me being mobile is pretty much a thing. It's kind of like why I making these videos, because you get to experience content like on the go. So for me, that would be a miracle if they decide to do that. That would also be that they're like, this girl is mad. She's madder than Sheogorath, yo. She crazy. That's a dream I have. That's always been a dream. When Oblivion came out and there were like rumors that something might be on the PSP, I was very, very excited. I actually was introduced to the games in 2000, and I want to say 6 or 5. I don't know. It was the year my sister was born. That's how I'm figuring it out. But I just remember my brother was playing it because he had the 360, and I have 2 brothers, so I was the youngest at the time, and he introduced me to the game by simply challenging me on saying his horse was better than mine. And at the time I was playing Shadow Colossus, and I was like, no, your horse is not better than mine. Now, he was talking about Shadowmere, and Shadowmere ended up also being a very loyal stallion to myself, so I respect it. I also still respect Shadow Colossus and all that, but Oblivion changed my life, and basically it kept me out of a lot of trouble, guys. It really did, because that was my middle school time, and I don't know why, dude. I got picked on so bad, so it was a good way to escape. And the worst punishment is if my mom had taken, because she caved in and got me my own game, and I remember being in the Target with her, and she always does this to me, guys. And she did this to me then. She did it to me 2 or 3 years ago when she does like surprises, and she was having me tell her if it would be difficult for me to like start over. And at the time, memory cards, like that's what we had. So I was like, no, I got a memory card. I was like, but to start over, I was like, that would be crazy. And you guys know, if you've been through content in the Elder Scrolls game, imagine having to wipe and start over, which I've had to do that several times with the Elder Scrolls Online.
You guys are busting my chops. Like, this is so boring and stupid, Taylor. Sheogorath is boring. Why would they make another DLC for the Elder Scrolls Online? And I'm like, because it needs to happen. Well, anywho, I'm not sure what my next video is going to be about. It could be about my toon, and because I'm leveling to my goal, which was 820 CP. Like I said, I've restarted the games a bunch of times, and I've also played the Elder, we'll call it the Elder. I've played the Elder games also and beat them several times over because, I'm nomadic and I'm a mom and I've lived in several different states and stuff. And, so I've lost a couple of consoles in here and there and had to redo some things. And it's doing well. So that's probably going to be my next video. I'm trying to think. Right. Our TikTok. I'm going to put the video up, but you can follow us. Again, hashtag DaMouseOfInk. And your comments, please, y'all. I think put some positive reinforcement behind this. It could be a thing. They could think about it. They be watching some people content. So peace out, and I will see you guys again for the next video.